You can bring us back from break now.
Oh, we have to do an opening, don't we?
Well, we have to.
Let's do this is the beginning.
Well, I said at the end of the Josh Moros interview, we'll be back with WORCS, National Enduro.
Oh, okay.
And
hey, welcome back to the Weekly Braaappp. I'm DM3.
I'm Reid Brown. We've already introduced ourselves.
All right. Sorry.
Oh, I was supposed to keep going with the show.
Test. Weekly Braaappp. Weekly Braaappp. Welcome to the Weekly Braaappp.
Your place to go for local, national, and regional off-road racing news. We got news from all over the country. GNCCs,
Western Hare Scramble,
National Hare Hound,
WORCS Series.
and we may even go on the other side of the ocean and talk about World Enduro Championships.
How about some BAJA action?
Yeah, we pretty much do it all.
Yeehaw!
We also give away prizes
We got product reviews
and trivia questions.
to give away all that fly gear.
So sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeehaw!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Today we've got a really cool guy, special guest that's been cool enough, I guess, gracious enough to come talk to us. We are joined by Josh Moros. Josh, thanks a lot for coming on. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely.
So, Josh, give us a little bit of background of your racing and who you are.
Well, I'm Josh Moros. I'm 20 now. And before, every weekend I was on the road, I was racing. And it was my life. There wasn't a second in the day that I wasn't thinking of my motorcycle and me on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, me crossing the finish line in first became a expected, can't really find the word for it, but expected responsibility out of myself. So I demanded a lot of myself, and when I showed up at a race, I demanded myself to, perform to 110%.
So for people who don't know, I mean, we're not talking about your local Nevada desert race or anything like that. I mean, we're talking about, from when I first heard about you, was Pro 2 WORCS when you were 14 and 15 years old, and then a transition into the pro class and your first round at Hollister Hills. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, I mean, to give people an idea, you were probably the fastest, youngest guy in the entire country for what you were doing.
You know, I don't know, I'm not gonna say that I was.
Oh, come on.
It's not, hey, we'll say it. We'll say it for you. This guy,
it's a fact.
You're the man. I mean, we won't make you brag, but just to let everyone know, we think very highly of you.
Well, thank you. But I don't know. The way I see it is, you know, everyone was chasing me, and there's always that one person that's working that much harder. So, you know, that pushed me more and more each week out of my progress of coming through the ranks. It pushed me each week to, you know, make sure I was better for that next round that I was going to appear at.
Yeah.
So then, everything was going pretty well on track. I mean, your results were amazing. You turned pro in the WORCS series, and then you had an accident that pretty much changed your life. So what exactly happened, and what were the ramifications of that?
Well, I showed up at Windover, Nevada, and me and Destry Abbott were out. You know, we were testing our bikes, testing the suspension, and just getting the feel for the area. And, you know, we went to bed on Friday night. We woke up Saturday. And, you know, there was word that Russ Pearson was out riding the course a week before the race. So, you know, I was kind of anguished about that and angry.
Yeah.
So I had a buddy there that was with me that came with us, and I looked at him and I was like, I'll beat him this race. So I laid everything on the line. I took chances. I took a lot of chances leading up to the point where I crashed. And I guess I took one too many, and that last little chance that I took came back and bit me.
Yeah. So for people that are like me, like I'm more into the detail of like, did you hit a rock, or do you remember like how the accident happened, or were you like, do you remember any of that?
You know, the doctor said that I wouldn't remember it, but I remember every second of it. And I came into the pit right before I crashed, and I didn't give my dad the, light of day to give me some gas.
Yeah.
And, I was trying to get out of there, and he was walking with me as he was trying to fill up my bike. And I'm trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
And he's telling me to stop, and I keep popping the clutch, trying to get out of there. And then finally I just dumped the clutch and I left.
Yeah.
I figured I had enough gas to get to the next pit, so I blew a corner to get back onto the course, and, the first thing I heard was my dad whistling. And, I turned around and I looked, and they were pointing to the course, so I flipped around, I came back, and I remember myself, getting mad at myself and then pushing even harder.
Yeah.
I was already pushing for 100+ miles, and then when I blew the corner and got back onto the course, I was even more mad than I was before I blew the corner. So
yeah,
I saw a little spot where I thought I could make up some time to where I could leave it on that much longer and make up a little time, maybe quite possibly pass him. And that little spot where I thought I could make up time, it had a rock with my name on it.
So as a result, you ended up in a pretty bad situation, obviously, with you were in a pretty severe coma, if I remember right. So how long was that? Was that medically induced, or was that an actual result of the crash, or what were the details of that whole situation?
Well, we were just coming off of a Jeep road, and, with my desert gearing on my 450, my bike was geared to do about 100 miles an hour. And, I was trying to get as much as I could out of that 450. There was a point when, I'm going to go back to when I was on the 80s. There was a point where I couldn't get any more out of the bike, and I wanted more.
Yeah.
So that switched over to my 450. When I got to the point where the bike wouldn't go any faster, it couldn't give me any more, I just wanted more.
Yeah.
And so I was pushing it. I was pushing the bike to the limits. And I don't have a doubt in my mind that I was giving that bike all she had.
Yeah.
And, there was a lady there that saw me crash, and she said that I was doing 65. And I'm like, with 65, I would have jumped the rock.
Yeah.
But, come to find out, when I woke up out of the coma, he stopped, and he had to, because he pulled off his fuel line, he stopped and had to put that back on. I feel I would have passed him there, and it would have been over. My day would have been done.
Yeah.
So.
And I could have set a good, hard pace and rode to my first national Hare Hound win.
Yeah.
So then your coma, then how long did it last for? How long were you under?
I put myself in a legit coma for 24 days, but then they induced me and put me under a little bit longer to give me time to heal.
Yeah.
Because I broke my scapula and I fractured a couple of vertebrae in my back. And there's these wings on what's called the atlas. I've become pretty educated with the body ever since my accident, but
yeah,
it's where your head sits, and there's 2 wings on the back of your neck. And it's, where your head moves and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a stopper for your head. And those 2 little wings were fractured. So, talking with my grandmother before she passed away, a fracture is basically considered a break. So technically, I broke my neck, my back. I fractured a couple of lungs. Sorry, not lungs, ribs. I think I bruised a lung. And I broke my nose. And I punctured my eye. I was basically a bloody mess when all the medical attention got to me.
I'm a firm believer, though, for every door that, closes, there's another door that opens, and there's something positive that came out of this. And I know you're pushing and you're helping people be aware of this, and you're doing fundraisers and stuff like that.
I've actually held a couple of free riding clinics just to get my name out there, but I mean, I've been interviewed by a couple of news stations here in Reno, and I've, said, quote, the sky's the limit for me, and whatever's up there, I'm going to grab it.
Yeah. I think that's probably something that's, people who are competitive anyways, when you can't do what you were originally doing, it's like whatever you can do is what you want to be the best at. Like, I know the times I've been injured, I usually find myself dedicating myself more to something I can do other than riding. So it seems like you've really taken on that role with what you're doing now. So what exactly are you giving speeches about, and what are you doing? What are your interviews based around?
I'm doing a lot of motivational speaking now. Kids that have an injury, or some saying the injury is somewhat similar to mine. They just want to give up. They want to turn to drugs. They feel sorry for themselves, but, I had that opportunity. I should, be curled up in a corner feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
But what would that make me? That would make me a little, I'm not going to say it on the web, but you know what I mean.
I hear you.
A little girl. I'll just put it there.
Yeah.
So quitting isn't really in my nature. I have quit a race or two here or there, and I look back on it, and it haunts me. And my mom, I remember I went back east to do a GNCC, and I broke my toe. And I thought I broke my foot, and I came in, and I was just, I was done. I didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I was doing really crappy, and my mom, it was just like a beeline straight to me, got right in my face. It was just, we didn't come all this way for you to quit.
Yeah.
These guys didn't, invest all this money in you, give you this free bike for you just to quit. So you get your butt back out there and you finish that race, this race. And I was just like, ooh. Yeah. And I was looking around, like Freddie Andrews was right there. He was just like, damn. I was like, wow, what's a guy supposed to do?
Yeah.
So I threw my leg back over the bike and went back out there and finished.
Last summer you did a bicycle ride. What is that about? I tracked you and followed you on Facebook, but for the people that didn't follow you, what was that all about?
Well, it was to raise awareness about traumatic brain injuries. And, I want to do it again, but this time when I do it, I want to go over there. But instead of getting in the car and driving home, I want to actually ride back.
Oh, wow.
So for people who don't know how far you went from Nevada to Virginia, and how many miles was that?
It was, we sat down afterwards and we totaled all the miles together, and it was 2,788 miles.
Dang. So the trip you're talking about now would be 5,400 miles.
It's all right. I'm really bad with math, too. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm in college, too. The education system is failing us all. No. So
that's all right. That's why I have this. So I'll go ahead and I'll give you the answer right now.
So how many miles are we talking about?
We got my mom over here in the corner. She's pretty good with math and numbers. We got 5576.
Wow.
And that's if I go over there and come back.
Well, I think you could probably do it. I mean, if you made it 2,700, what's another 2,700?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'll do it twice.
Easier said than done.
10,000.
So, go ahead, Don.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to ask, so what role does riding play in your life now? Do you still ride dirt bikes? Are you competing anymore? Do you have any plans to compete in the future?
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, I had to separate myself from it a little bit. I've been training for triathlons. I've been running, swimming, and it's really made me look at it and show my love and passion for the sport.
Yeah.
And, I thought of it, and I can't just from a little bump on the head, well, it's not really little, but just from, bumping my head, I can't walk away from it like that. I would feel like a coward, to tell you the truth, to run away from it, but I don't know. I'm going to give it my best shot.
Do you have any foundations that you're a part of? Like, how do people, get to see what you're doing and anything like that? Do you have any websites or anything?
Yeah, there's braininitiative.org, I believe. And then becauseIcanride.org. That's another one.
Yeah.
Those are the two main ones.
And you also have a Facebook fan, like a legitimate fan page now, because you had over 5,000 friends on Facebook, so you've got a page going now. Is that just Josh Moros as an athlete?
Yeah, well, I have Josh Moros just as an athlete. I have the Because I Can, and then as a foundation. So, and then just my personal Josh Moros one.
There's a video that I watched and I cried. I gotta be honest, I cried. But it was the one where your dad videoed you when you after everything, and you started riding again, and then you started working out, and it showed progress. But it was really, really inspirational though.
It's been tough. There's been times where I have just wanted to give up, just wanted to throw up my arms and say, I don't really feel like doing this. I don't want to go put myself through all this.
Yeah.
But the way that I see it is, what's that going to get me?
I guess a message then to live by is basically to take every opportunity you have and make the best of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, from my perspective, like Don was saying, I've seen the same video, and to the point, I mean, the mountains you've had to overcome are amazing. Basically teaching yourself how to walk again, to run. I mean, that whole deal. I mean, people who have it, they take it for granted, but when it's your brain physically not allowing you to move the way you're used to, that's got to be frustrating. And I know we're proud of you, and I know a lot of other people are for how far you've come and the work that you're continuing to do now. So keep up.
Well,
the good stuff.
I mean, at first it was me trying to climb over mountains, leaps and hurdles. But now it's almost like I'm crawling over mountains on my knees.
Yeah.
So, but, I'm getting stronger. I'm stronger than I was before my accident. And now I feel like I'm in a full sprint. So, I mean, I'm having a little problem with arm pump. And once I train a little harder and, I'm gonna give 2012. I'm just gonna give this year, and then I want to surprise some people.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna lay under the radar.
Come out swinging in 2013, big time.
Oh yeah.
All right.
They're not gonna know what's hit them.
Nice.
Well, they might now. We gotta make sure no one watches this week's show.
Yeah, keep this on the DL.
Yeah.
There you go, man. Right on.
Well, I mean, in June I'm doing a race. It's called the Race Across the West. It starts in Oceanside, California, and it ends in Durango, Colorado, on a bicycle. So,
wow.
This accident, I'm not gonna. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am anguished about the accident. I am mad that it had to be me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's opened so many doors for me. I mean, public speaking, stuff that I never would even think of.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ride. That's all that was on my mind.
You get to help people now. It's almost like, I don't know, like I'd be really honored, you know. I'm honored to even, you know, have you on the show, and I appreciate you, you know, not giving up and, you know, out there helping people out.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show too. But I mean, there's nothing better than helping somebody out. It's not really about what you get; it's what you give.
A lot of people forget that though, this day and age, you know.
Well, a lot of people are, you know, I'm gonna use myself as an example. They're self-centered, they're ignorant, they're greedy, and they're cocky, and that's all that I was before my accident. But there came a time where I don't know if I was too cocky and arrogant and greedy. I just think I was confident. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that didn't really see that. They just thought that I was a little punk kid that was good at riding, so he went around bragging about it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So, Mom and Dad really help you out a lot with everything?
Yeah, they were kind of, my dad, he was kind of hesitant at first because he was the one that introduced me to the sport.
Yeah.
And it came a time, I'm going to say about 6 months after I woke up out of my accident, I had to sit my parents down, and I just turned 18. And I had to sit them down, and I just said, you know, you guys, I'm 18 now. I'm going to do this with you or without you. I would rather have you guys by my side. So, I mean, I'm willing to take on the work and the job to keep this dream of mine going.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate you taking the time and telling people your story and providing inspiration to those who may need it right now. So
yeah,
keep us up to date on all your plans for this year. We'll definitely keep in touch with you, and we'd love to see you make a full recovery back to the podium.
Oh, I'll be back.
Perfect. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks again, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
All right. See you guys.
Take it easy. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back with more from the Hare Hounds, the WORCS, and the National Enduro Series. Cool.
Josh is a pretty badass dude.
Yeah, he is. He is.
You concur?
I concur. So, we're like a week and a half out now from when these races actually happen, but I think it's noteworthy. It's worth noting the East Coast Eastern Hare Scrambles Series.
Yeah.
So
a motocrosser going off-road. We've seen it many times.
But this one was successful.
Yeah.
Like, really successful. And this is a real off-road race. This isn't just like WORCS.
Yeah.
Where Ryan Hughes and Mike Brown and those guys can come out. This is Hare Scrambles racing on the East Coast.
Yeah, tight woods. And
yeah. So anyways, everybody knows Zach Osborne now. American, competing in the World Championship motocross in Europe. Came back for West Coast Supercross. Third in points when he left the series.
Doing pretty good.
But he stuck to his guns. He said he was going to leave after 3 rounds, and he did.
Yeah.
And he comes back, rode some off-road, and he wins a Hare Scrambles, National Hare Scrambles.
East Coast. Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. I don't know.
With Nate Canny there.
Yeah, he was, I guess, battled with Nathan Canny all race, and then got the better of him. So their fitness is good.
There's a great video of him and the KTM guys.
Yeah.
Zach out there riding with those guys.
Yeah, on Off-Road Viking. Those guys put it together, offroadviking.com. They put together a cool video with a couple like Stuart Baylor, Caleb Russell, I think those guys were out riding, and Russell Bobbitt.
He has great corner speed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously for a motocrosser.
Well, yeah, but I think that's the thing that is missing from a lot of off-roaders, like toolbox, is corner speed.
Yeah.
Like, we can handle rocks and whoops and stuff like that, but that's the reason why we've been getting killed at 6 days for so long, is because we like drag race to corners and slam on the brakes, come to a stop, and then get going again. But now people are getting more into moto, and the corner speed's picking up. So that's cool.
I think moto for training. I mean, I know for sure most of these top guys. I mean, they moto for their training.
Yeah, they do like a little off-road stuff, but mostly it seems like they're working on their sprint speed.
Yeah.
And their moto skills, just cornering, jumping, because like the GNCC stuff's pretty fast and kind of whooped out, and what's better practice than that than doing some moto?
Yeah, exactly.
So East Coast Hare Scrambles, that's pretty cool. Then moving on, they also had the first round of the OMA series this past weekend.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. It's kind of like I don't even know how to describe that series really. It's kind of when it started, it seems like it was kind of on par with WORCS. Like they were getting a lot of good guys, and then Jimmy Jarrett won it like 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
And it's still like a big series. It's a national series, and Paul Whibley's the defending champion.
I think it's more of like the GNCC guys just come over and they, it's becoming more and more of a series like crazy. So.
Yeah, a lot of guys do it for sure, and I think I always read about it in all the national magazines. Like Cycle News always has some pretty good coverage, and they had their first round this last weekend, and Paul Whibley was able to take the win again.
I saw him. I saw a picture of him with a sweet Yamaha. His Yamaha looks great, but one thing that really impressed me, he had a neck brace on. I don't know.
Really?
Some of these top guys don't have neck braces.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It for some reason, it really impressed me. It was good to see, something like that.
I don't know why they kind of like went out of style almost. Like when they first came out,
cool.
everybody had them. Like, oh, I'm gonna have a neck brace because they're $700 and they're another thing to throw on my body. But now, like Dungy's not wearing his anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of top guys never even went to him. Well, Chad Reed wore one for a while, and now he's not wearing one.
I think he'll be wearing one soon, though.
He said he wouldn't.
Oh, really?
On his Twitter, someone said to him, like, "Are you gonna wear a neck brace now?" Like, it saves me every time. It seems like, and he's like, "Well, good for you. Keep wearing it."
Oh, really?
But so I don't know. But oh well, to each his own, I guess.
So Russell Bobbitt, second place, coming back from the injury.
Yep.
He's progressively getting better and better.
Yeah, and it sounds like he would have had a shot at the win, but he had the lead close to the end, but made some mistakes.
Yeah.
So, and then who got third? Nick Farringer, the Husaberg rider. So that's a pretty good.
Was he on the 300?
I don't know if he's on the 300 or 250. I think it's the 300. Lafferty's on the 250.
Oh.
So, yeah, so 300. But
if you look at these guys' times, they are so consistent.
What are we looking at here?
Just the lap times.
Okay.
The guys are just so consistent.
Huh.
It's crazy. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Off-road races like 13 miles long, and they get their lap times within 10 seconds of each other.
Yeah.
It's amazing. They're hitting the same line, the same speed every single lap. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, because you look at local races stuff, and it vary by a couple minutes even.
Yeah.
So it shows you how focused and skilled these guys are.
Who's your other boy that you know on here? Steve?
Steve, 13th Steve Levan.
Yeah. That guy's been around for a while.
He's a veteran for sure.
He was on Yamahas forever, wasn't he?
Yep, and 6 days rider for a long time. A lot of 6 days.
Still on Yamaha.
Yep. And another one, 4th place, Scott Watkins. He's a GNCC guy, and his goal was a top 5 coming into the race, and ended up getting 4th. So
seems like the prize money's pretty good at this race. They give out whole shot awards. They give out everything there.
Well, that's good because I read something about the National Hare Scrambles, and the winner's only getting like $500. I mean, for the Enduro series, for the National Enduros, and it's like $500. That barely even covers your gas and your entry fee to get there.
Yeah.
Funky Chicken gives out like $1,200 to the winner, $1,500. Shoot, 5th place got $300 this last year. So hopefully sponsors can step up and give those pro guys some money so they can actually get to races.
Yeah, help them out.
Definitely. So then, round 3 of the WORCS series. Round 4 of the WORCS series. Sorry.
Round 4.
Was it round 4 or round 3? I don't remember.
4.
In Mesquite, Nevada.
Brown, I guess he went down hard on the first day. He got caught up with a guy in the front wheel or rear, I don't know. He somehow got caught up and wrecked and still finished pretty decent, but
yeah.
He had a concussion and then all that good stuff.
Oh, that's no good. Yeah, I know it's a pretty tough race there because it's so sandy. It's super sandy and it washes you around and pretty dusty, so it's kind of a dangerous race, but kind of not really surprised, but kind of a cool story. Bobby Garrison ended up winning the thing, and factory Cowie rider that we talked about in our first episode. That
guy's been on like Yamahas, Husqvarnas. He's been on everything.
Because he was with Zip Tie for a long time. Doing all that stuff, and they call him the Sandman because he's like a master of sand riding.
Oh,
and so that's a big advantage. But I'm just waiting for one of these years. He's gonna win the title. I know he had it snatched from him one year with Caselli, and I think this might be his year. I don't know. I picked Taylor Robert at the beginning of the year for my championship pick, but he can make it interesting for sure.
Yeah.
So
it was nice to see somebody new on the box, though.
Yeah, and Kyle Summers have another great ride. you know, he's had a really good year going. He won the opening round of the West Coast Hare Scramble Series.
Yeah.
And he's riding the Yamaha, I think, for the Valley team, and has done some supercrosses for him, too. So
That Yamaha does look pretty cool.
it does.
I like
you know,
it.
I don't know if I'm a big fan of the backward motor. I'm having a hard time getting past that for some reason. I don't know. It just seems like unconventional. But hey,
He's making it work, though.
yeah, if it's working for you, then that's great. You know,
Yeah.
do what you got to do.
Who got third?
Taylor Robert.
Taylor.
He did end up in third, and it sounds like he had the win on Sunday, but ended up going down. Would have had a 3-1, but ended up with a 3-2 for third overall. So
Ivan Ramirez won the
Pro 2 class. Ivan Ramirez, which he's the newest. He'll be on that factory BAJA KTM team,
which is pretty neat.
Pretty neat for sure. So that's going to be Ramirez, Brown, Quinn Cody, and Kirk Caselli. So that's going to be pretty awesome.
Quinn Cody, the guy, I don't know, he's a pretty amazing guy. Dakar guy, races Baja.
Yeah,
he seems like he races everything, but
well, I think his experience is going to help them a lot because he was on that JCR team for a long time, and you know I've heard a lot from people who've done Baja that the fastest, a lot like the 24-hour, the fastest guy doesn't always win, but it's the guy that knows that okay, there might be a booby trap over this hill, and they just have some experience. So it's just
doing it.
And then you've got a guy from Mexico on their team. I think the KTM team's gonna be hard to beat, but
Yeah.
I guess we're getting a little off track though. But yeah, Ivan Ramirez won the Pro 2 class. Travis Coy, who we're gonna have on a little bit later, he ended up with a 6th place, which keeping it consistent, but
It's nice to see that RPM team, though.
it is. Yeah,
They're
it's
doing
cool.
pretty good.
You're putting someone who's invested a lot in the sport, and yeah, it's nice to see someone like that having success. So
Yeah.
and they've got Josh Strang. So when he gets healthy, it sounds like it might be a while, but
What, you're like 60% or something like that?
if that, yeah. But when Josh Strang gets back on the bike, I think they'll be even more of a player. So it's gonna be a good series for sure. The good thing about this parity, like it'll keep the points tight. So maybe there'll be a battle come down to the final round. So,
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So
see
we
what
got
happens.
OMRA stuff, some local stuff.
Yep.
Got some NMA races coming up too. So
Yeah.
a
So
lot of
the
local stuff.
I think the opening round of the OMRA Cross Country and Grand Prix Series is on the 17th and 18th of March. So just a couple weeks out up at Eddyville. GP on Saturday, cross country on Sunday. And
Are you going to it?
you know, I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to go to the 6-hour, which will have happened a couple days ago. That
Yeah.
from when you're watching, but yeah, I don't think so. Just probably save some money, and I don't know. I can only get so much of Eddyville before I get a little tired of it.
Yeah.
But how about you? You think you're going to go?
I don't know
You don't know?
at this point. I don't know.
Maybe. You know, it's weird though. You get a wild hair and you decide you want to race, and
Yeah.
then you go for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Put all that working out to something, you know?
Exactly. You got to make it pay off. So and then yeah, NMA races. Do you know the Desert 100's in a month?
Is it
So,
really?
Yep, the most dangerous race in America, maybe. But
All I know is Anthony Gibbs is. I mean, he's friends. We both know him really well.
yeah,
He's a good friend of ours. He's just getting better and better, and I just hope he stays healthy and all that good
is
stuff.
he your pick for the Desert 100 this year with Ricky Russell injured?
Top 3 easily.
Top 3.
Yeah, that Bobby whatever he does pretty good.
Proc now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does
Proc
pretty
now.
good.
yeah, he's a great rider. You always get a deep stack of fields, and I saw also on Twitter, Destry Abbott. Someone asked him if he'd ever do the Desert 100, and
Really?
he said, "You know, I've heard about it for years. I'd love to do it someday."
Camo did it a couple years ago.
Camo's done it, and
I'd like to get Camo on here.
that'd be
This-
great.
this-
Fly rider,
Yeah,
JCR.
he just seems like Mr. Personality.
Well, you know, I know his uncle, who used to come to the OMRA race. His name's Chris Childs. He did the reporting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Chris's sister is David's mom.
Wow, I'm
And
confused.
so
but yeah.
anyways,
Idaho guys, they do it. They have a race. I think it's every month, like
once a month.
Yeah, and I could be wrong. Every 3 weeks or something like that. But yeah,
Well, I mean, if whoever is going to be at that next race,
Brett Bell. I think Brett Bell,
Yes.
or actually the Mott brothers.
Yeah, Josh has got to be the favorite for that series. I mean,
Yeah. Tyler's getting faster, the younger brother.
Yeah, at that Oriana 100, Tyler ended up 10th. 10th, and Josh ended up second behind Jimmy Jarrett in a super muddy, snowy race.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It sounds like that's one of the best races they have out there, and it sounds like it was kind of a washout, but it was still a lot of fun. Deep sand washes, no whoops, because it's all just they've gotten washed out from the water that had rained that winter. So.
And our boy Joe Harriman.
7th.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
7th.
So good job, Joe.
I think he was running 4th. He got passed by 2 youngsters. He might be getting old.
Those kids, you gotta slow down. Yeah, Joe. And he's not like he has a lot to lose. He's already missing his front teeth. So just pin it.
2 front teeth.
Just pin it, Joe. He's his own boss.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer to anybody. I mean, except for your bill collectors, I guess. But come on, Joe. Step it up. We need a top 5 out of you. Especially I'm calling you out, Joe. Come on. You know, one other series that I think is going to be really cool this year is the Team Tortoise. We talked about that a little bit, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that pans out.
Those guys are cool. Those guys are moving the Northwest in a good direction. Good direction, yeah.
Yep. Getting some exposure, and I think if we can get some
and they're fun events. It seems like they do everything: woods, desert. I mean, they mix it up. Motocross, they do it all.
They do. Yep, absolutely. The endurance series that Over the Bars gang puts on.
Yeah, you know how you and I feel this. I feel really good about that series. I like it. It's more of a get to hang out with friends, but ride. But
yeah, it's kind of it's like a social thing. You can focus on your racing, but you get done with the bike and you're comparing lap times with your teammates and other teams. It's a pretty cool thing. Well, I don't know. Maybe by this next Wednesday we won't be saying that. Maybe we'll both have bad races and we'll hate it or something.
No doubt, right?
But who knows? Who knows? But I think that's about all.
Our new website, weeklybraaappp.com.
Oh yeah, it's up. It's complete, but we're still working on it. We've got some modifications we want to make, but it's functional. It's got the archives of the show, our sponsors, and this week's the current show that's up. So yeah, weeklybraaappp.com, and as always on the Facebook page, Weekly Braaappp, facebook.com/weeklybraaappp, and Twitter,
DM3.
Yeah, the KTM Kid Brown, and
Weekly
and
Braaappp.
at Weekly Braaappp. Yeah, we got a whole.
We're living the American dream.
We're living the American dream. Well, I think that about does it for this week. So,
thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Bye.